So, I was supposed to get married last week. But you know, life sometimes throws a curveball at you. Yeah, well, things didn't quite work out as they were planned. Oh no drama. We're still getting married in a couple of weeks. I think just there were some hiccups with the paperwork. We had to get some papers from Singapore because we want to get married in the Netherlands and yada yada. Either way, a new adventure awaits, and I'm very excited about that. Also, I am due for a bit of an adventure, both personally and professionally. So let's talk about that. See, I've actually been doing quite well. The last so many years, I've built like a nice little thing around me. I've run a nice little business. Like things gone pretty well. I set up a little creative agency in 2013 called The Magic Sauce with the aim to help business around the world create, build and share better ideas so they can innovate, grow and stay ahead of their competition. I made a bit of a name for myself as the innovation guy. I got to travel all over the world. Work with the coolest business and the coolest people. And even though I loved working with people from everywhere, I met so many amazing people. The business side of that was just getting a bit tiring. It was getting a bit stale. I was up for a bit of a change. I wanted to spend less time just being a creative and spend more time being a creator. You know, things I've got more control of. I want to share more of my ideas. I want to work more closely with people and hopefully have a bigger impact there. And that's where the creator economy comes in. See, in a traditional economy, people go out there and they trade their time and their talent and their energy for money in exchange for a salary. However, with the rise of the creator economy, you can now trade your skills and your creativity in other places. You have more control over that and then kind of make a living doing what you love and doing what you do really well. By the way, thank you, Chris Doe, for that line.
How to find and do work that you love. We can all do work, we all can make money, but we want to do something that's purposeful, that we follow our heart and our pursuit, and we want to be able to make money doing that.
So, solopreneur, entrepreneur, peoplepreneur, contentpreneur, creativepreneur, creative entrepreneur. What's a good word for this?
But aren't you already a content creator?
Kind of. By the way, if you're still here, I want to say I really appreciate that. My name is Yuri. I'm a seasoned innovation catalyst, a slightly rebellious optimist, and a creative visual storyteller. You see, I set up the Magic Sauce channel in 2017 without much of a plan. I was getting a bunch of requests from clients, usually people with an innovation agenda. Things like, can you help us with a creative brainstorm? Or how do you pitch an idea? Or can you help our team think out of the box? And usually the requests were quite small, as in there was not a lot of budget for it and they were getting repetitive. So what I decided to do is create short little videos to basically teach people to do it themselves. So I started creating all these videos, but honestly, it was more of an afterthought. I didn't really have a plan. I just started doing all kinds of things and then I got the taste for it. I was like, this is something I want to do. This is my new creative outlet, making videos, telling stories, creating content, connecting with people. But I wasn't really reaching the people I intended to reach. I made the cardinal mistake of chasing numbers. I started creating content for the algorithm. I started trying to rig the system to find out like how do I get the most amount of views on this and the most amount of likes. Publishing different kinds of videos and I was kind of all over the place. So anybody who would have looked at the channel would have been, so what do you do again? Is this about innovations, about creative design? Are you doing facilitation or you got some stuff around kind of whatever, like video making on there as well, storytelling? It was all over the place. It became a bit confusing, which I think really stifled the growth and I felt stuck and I thought, so what do we do now? Do I keep at it? Do I change the whole thing? Do I pivot? Do I start a new channel? I mean, I worked at this for years. I built something. I can't just throw it all away. Maybe it's time to take a step back, take the whole thing apart, put all the parts out here. That's why this room is so messy. I've stripped everything apart. Now I'm looking around me and thinking, what are the bits that I want to keep? What are the bits I want to replace? What's working? What's not working? And unfortunately, sometimes if you want something to grow, you're going to have to cut a couple of things off. Sometimes you got to kill what you love to create space for something better. What got us here won't get us there, won't get me to a place where I can have more freedom, more fun, and more flexibility. So where does that leave us? Well, as I said at the start of this video, personally, I'm going to embark on this journey together with my partner. But professionally, I want to embark on this creative entrepreneur journey.
But aren't you already a content creator?
Kind of, which goes beyond just being a content creator. I want to build something solid around our skills and talents and experience and love that enables us to have a life of freedom, fun, and flexibility. And maybe you too are at this point where you feel it's time for a bit of a reinvention. Maybe you're a bit tired of where you are and you think, look, it's time to do something new and something different. And maybe you too want to have a life where you have more things that are within your control, and a life where you can, I hate those words like flourish, but you know what I mean, like something that is a lot more meaningful, where you can just be you. And if it is, I think you will really like the new content I'm going to be putting on this channel. I've got all kinds of questions around how do you reinvent yourself? What do you need to do? What's the first thing you would do? How do you build a personal brand? How do you do things financially that make sense so you can actually start making money? How do you find your customers? Picking your niche. Now, I know couple of things, but there's a lot of questions in there as well. And even though I'm going on this new journey and I've got so many questions, it's not like I'm starting completely from scratch. I've got things in my backpack which I think will be very useful on this journey. The first one here is I have more than a decade and a half of experience in kind of innovation within business, working with people to take an idea out of the mind, turn it into a solution, taking it out into the world. Got a couple of years of experience in content creation. You know, maybe did not yield the results that I had, but I have created hundreds of videos that tell stories, that got people excited, that had a message to them, that got people engaged, and all the technical things that come with this. And finally, I've been running my own business and other ventures on the side for more than a decade now, and there's a lot of learning in there about what it's like working for yourself. How do you stay on track? What do you say yes to? What do you say no to? I want to start this journey with more questions than answers. I don't want to go out there and be like the next guy that tells you what to do. Rather, I want to apply this to myself and to our life, this new personal journey we're going on, and then share that with you, and you can then take pieces and find out what works for you. Just so you know, I don't have all the answers for you. I don't have a clever framework, a 5-step coaching program, a spiffy book with like, you know, secret hacks or anything like that for you. I just started this reinvention journey myself, and I want to create different content, something that's more personal, that's more me. I want to connect with people who've done this already, who have a level of freedom, fun, and flexibility, which I aspire to, have a level of credit when it comes to creative entrepreneurship. And I just want to share what I find, and I think there will be some gold dust in there for you too. Okay, so I guess we're doing this. Now, I've already had a bit of a play with kind of what I want the channel to be. It's not all there yet. It's kind of, it's work in progress, which is kind of the headline for everything I'm doing over here. But what do you think of this one? Hi, my name is Yuri, and I want to help you build a business around yourself so you can stop trading time for money and build a life of flexibility, freedom, and fun, doing exactly what you love. How's that for a first proposition?